it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you.
Hi everyone, I'm Devin and you are watching The Egan Family, and in today's video I am going to be getting ready for a date night out at the theater to see Come From Away on tour. It was mine and my husband's first solo theater date night since everything happened about 2 years ago, so I was really excited to be able to go and see this show. If you are not familiar with this show, I will be talking to you about it a little bit later, but first I wanted to pop on and say hi. Thank you all for being here. If this is your first time popping over to my channel, I hope that you will stick around and subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you more than I could ever explain. So here I am just spraying some of my Glow facial mist. It's a vitamin C and magnesium facial mist, and I got it at TJ Maxx and I really do enjoy it. So you'll see me apply that quite a few times throughout this video. And here I am cleaning up my eyebrows a little bit. I don't do this every time I do my makeup, but it definitely needed it today. For those of you who haven't been on my channel before, this is a very different video than the videos I normally post, including motherhood, cleaning, and organizational content, as well as homeschool content. But I thought I would branch out. Makeup really is a very big love of mine. I am involved in theater, and so I really just have always appreciated makeup. So I thought I would share what I would do to prepare for a date night. And then I had my little helper Parker, who kept asking me if there was anything that he could do. He was being really sweet. And Emery, as you will see later, was being a little bit crazy. So it's always interesting getting ready with kids running all over the place, but we make it work. And doing my makeup in the living room definitely helps. So after that facial mist had sunk into my face a little bit more, I was going to go in with a lip scrub, and this is from the ColourPop Rudolph line, and it's it's just called the Rudolph Lippy scrub, and it's a very nice like vanilla mint scent. If you are familiar with Bath and Body Works stuff at all, it reminds me of like the Vanilla Bean Noel with the little hint of mint. And so I just was exfoliating my lips to make sure that all of my lip products would apply nice and evenly. And then I just wiped off any of the excess sugar scrub. And then I wanted to hydrate my lips, and so I used the Clarisse Overnight Lip Mask from the Rudolph collection as well. The packaging on this collection was so adorable. And I know it says it's an overnight lip mask, but I use it anytime I really need to hydrate my lips. My skin and my lips get super dry in the winter, so I really wanted to make sure that all of my products would apply smoothly. So then I just quickly brushed out my brows and went in with my brow pencil. And that is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Micro Brow Pencil in 649A Deep Brown. And I'm just trying to fill them in as best as I can. If anybody else was into makeup or any of the fashion trends in the early 2000s, then maybe your brows are suffering a little bit from that, just like mine are. But my natural brows are pretty sparse in some really strange areas, so I just like to fill them in and make them look as natural to my face as possible. So I really like a very micro fine brow pencil and a spoolie brush to obtain that look. And so that is just what I'm doing there. And I do apologize if this is very distracting with the mirror up close. I do wear glasses, and contacts a lot of the times really bother my eyes, and so I don't wear them as often, and I'm pretty blind without my glasses, so I need the mirror up close, and I know that it is a little distracting in the camera, but I hope you still get something out of this video. And then I'm going in with my concealer, and I am going to carve out my brows a little bit and also add it on any of the spaces that I need a little extra concealing. And for this, I'm using the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in the shade L150 Porcelain. And like I said, I'm just plopping that in all of the places that I need, and then using my dampened beauty sponge. It's not Beauty Blender brand, but Parker had wet that for me. He loves doing that. It's really cute. And I'm just kind of patting out all of the concealer, and Emery is jumping on the couch. Like I said, she is my wild one. And also throughout this video, I do apologize for any of these crazy faces that I make. Please let me know that I am not the only one who makes crazy makeup faces. Then when I have that just about blended in well enough, I go in with my foundation, and this will really help blend out any of the concealer that is still a little patchy. And for foundation rather, I use L'Oreal Paris Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation, and I use the shade 420 in that. And I just pop it all over my face with that little brush that's broken. I got all the brushes that I use for pretty inexpensive on Amazon, or I think one of them is Wet n Wild. But I just pop that all over and then bounce it in with the beauty sponge. And like I said, I do like my beauty sponges damp. And then after that, I go in underneath my eyes with my concealer, and I'm just using that same CoverGirl concealer. Sometimes for this, I use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, but today I just stuck with my CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in Porcelain. And just try and brighten up under my eyes, and also lay it down as a primer on my eyelids so I can have a nice base for my eyeshadow. And then I just use a flat top powder brush and my L'Oreal Paris Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation Powder in the shade 10 Porcelain to set underneath my eyes and any place that had a lot of concealer. And then with a fluffier brush, I just go in and do a light dusting over my whole face. I don't want to use too much. Like I said, my face does get pretty dry, so I don't want it to look cakey. After I do that, I go in with my bronzer, which is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in the shade 742B Sunset Striptease. I wish I could be the person who names makeup brands and products, because I think they are so funny. Just giving my sweet Emery a little snuggle. With the bronzer, I just go any place that I would like to warm up, like where sun would hit. And then I go in with this highlighter, which is also from the Rudolph collection by ColourPop, and it's called Jingle 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 Shimmering Body Powder. And I love the shade that it is. It's very natural. But since I wanted to go a little bit extra because it was date night, I went in with the Hello Halo Wet n Wild blush lighter, and I went in on the highlighter side. This is the shade Highlight Bling, and it's a very like silvery icy shade, and I just put that on my cheeks. And then I had to stop to remind Emery not to bump into the tripod. And for blush, I'm using two shades out of the Beauty and the Beast collection from Revolution that you can find at Target. They have 3 blush shades, or one is kind of more of a bronzer, but I just kind of mix the 2 blush shades together. And as you can tell, I'm a little heavy-handed with blush because I really, really love blush. And then as an all-over base on my eyeshadow, I go in with the super old Tarte palette. It's the Clay Play Base Shaping Palette, and there is like a white color that's actually pretty close to my skin tone. It's very nude. And I just set my whole eyelid with that. And then for my main eyeshadow look, I'm once again using the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer ColourPop collection. And I'm starting in the crease. Because I have kind of hooded eyes, I actually emphasize my crease a little bit higher than it is. And I'm just, for this color, I'm going in with a Mush Mush. It's kind of like, almost like a taupey mauve color. Very neutral. And I'm just buffing it in on the, in the crease that I'm creating for my hooded eyes and also in the outer V. And then anything I do on top of my eye, I normally bring underneath just to make it more blended and smoked out so it looks a little bit more put together. I find that works best for my eye shape. And then I just blend that out until it looks good to me. And then I go in with a smaller brush that's a little bit fluffier, and I'm using a color that's like a pinky coral from the palette. It's called Independent Together. And I'm just blending out the outside edges of that Mush Mush color just to make sure that it's really seamless and blended nicely. And once again, going in underneath my eyes and stopping to have a quick moment to speak to Emery, who was giving me a problem. And then I am mixing a bronzy shimmer shade and a cool toned brown called Up, Up, and Away and Gadzooks. And I'm using it on a more condensed brush and bringing it a little bit farther down on my crease to give it even another layer of dimension. I have very small eyes, so I really just like to try and do the best I can to blend things out and bring as much dimension as I can so I can draw attention to my eyes and away from other parts of my face that I don't like as much. Once again, bringing that underneath as well to blend out all of those colors. I really like this palette. There is a really good mix of neutrals and some flashy shimmers, and I actually really like the ColourPop eyeshadows in general. Then I'm just taking a big fluffy brush and just kind of blending out everything and adding a little bit more of that first color that I went in with, Mush Mush, to make sure that all three layers of colors that I've done are nice and blended seamlessly. Like I said, you don't want any harsh lines and you don't want to see any breaking in the colors. And then for a pop of shimmer on the lid, I'm going in with this champagne shimmer color called North Pole. And I also bring that on the inner corner of my eye just as an added pop of a highlight. After that, on my waterline, I'm going to be using this nude eyeliner. It's from Rimmel. It is the Rimmel Exaggerate Waterproof Eye Definer in the color 213 in the nude. And I'm just bringing that in there to brighten up my eye and then giving my face another spritz of the Glow Mist to meld all those different working pieces together. It kind of just makes everything look a little bit more natural and dewy. And now I'm going in with an eyeliner combination just to define my lash line. And I am mixing two brown colors and a burgundy color. It's Gadzooks and Ready Santa are the brown colors, and Full Power is the burgundy color. So if you have the palette, those are the colors that I am using. And then I realized I wanted a little bit of that Full Power burgundy color in my eye look. So I just added it on like the outer V of my eye and blended it into the existing shadow. Parker told me I should use a burgundy or red eyeshadow, and so that was the way that I included it, and I really liked the way it looked. And he's got a really great eye for color. And then the eyeliner combo that I used on the bottom of my lashes, I added to my lash line on my lid, just once again to make my lashes look fuller and to define my eyes a little bit more. And then I'm going in with a tiny bit more of that shimmer powder from ColourPop and the same white eyeshadow I use just to add a little bit more brightness underneath my eyes. I find that my eyes get really dull if I don't add a little bit of white under there. Then I am curling my eyelashes because I have very droopy eyelashes, and so I need to make the most of them. And then I'm going in with my favorite mascara, which is the Lash Paradise by L'Oreal. It's an oldie but a goodie. I've tried a bunch of different other mascaras, and none of them really perform as well as this one does on my eyelashes. So I'm just giving them a couple good coats and calling it a day. If I were to try and wear my contacts, I probably would have put on false lashes, but I didn't want to even chance it today. So mascara it is. On a normal day, my go-to lip color is somewhere in the burgundy, wine, or red family, but because we are getting something to eat and also going to a show that required masks, I didn't want a chance smearing red lipstick all over my face. So I thought a nice neutral would be good, and so I went with the Clarisse ColourPop lip liner from the Rudolph collection and the matching Clarisse lipstick. I love these lipsticks and the lip liner. They're so creamy and they blend so nicely and they're so smooth, and they just feel really nice on the lip. And then after I put the lipstick on, I went in and topped it off with the Luxe Lip Gloss in the shade Dolly. And once again, this lip gloss is really good as well. It's not too sticky or goopy. I really like the way it feels and looks. And then it was time to move on to my hair. Now, I earlier in the day had taken a shower and I used my Gem brand blow dryer that looks like, the big rolling brush. It kind of looks like the Revlon one. And then this wand is the Parwin Pro Beauty Wand. Both of these things can be found on Amazon. And I wasn't going for really defined curls. I kind of wanted more of a beachy wave. So all I did was take random size sections, nothing uniform, and I just curled them all away from my hair, and I just made sure that the wand was pointing down on both sides of my hair. So you'll see me switch hands in a minute when I switch to the other side. And I just kind of curled until it looked good to me and tousled it a little bit. Like I said, I didn't want anything too polished or perfect. I just wanted a nice little wave in there. But while you watch me curl my hair, I thought I would talk to you a little bit about the show that I saw tonight. It was absolutely fantastic. It was a show that we actually had tickets for before the pandemic, and obviously when everything got canceled and shut down, they just kept rescheduling and rescheduling. So we finally got to see this show, but it's called Come From Away, and if you are not a theater person or not familiar, it is the story of planes that ended up getting rerouted during 9/11 that were in the sky when everything happened in New York City, and the American Airways were shut down, obviously, and the people on the planes they couldn't land at their destinations in the United States. And so a bunch of people ended up in Gander, Newfoundland, and the people there opened up their homes and their businesses and their schools as shelters. They donated all of these items, and these people ended up spending days there. And it's just a beautiful story about how these people came together in a time of such uncertainty. And it absolutely blew my mind to hear these people's stories, because not only is it based on obviously something that actually happened, but every character in the story is based on a real person and tells their real story. And the music is so beautiful. It's really a fast-paced musical. You can feel their emotions. It was so beautiful. And so if you are somebody who doesn't isn't interested in theater, I still think that that story is something that you might be able to get something out of. Like I said, it was extremely touching, and I was so happy that Will and I were able to go and experience this. It's a show that we had been looking forward to for a very long time, and I cannot say enough good things about it. Everything was amazing. You can find the cast recording on YouTube. You can find clips on YouTube, and if it ever comes to your area, I would highly recommend attending, because it is absolutely incredible to hear their stories through song. So now that I'm almost done with my hair, I just am going through a few more pieces, fine-tuning and making sure that it looks the way that I want it to, and that is about it. After I finished my hair and my makeup, it was time to pick an outfit, which can we all just agree that we should normalize having a panic attack looking at your closet post-pandemic when you didn't leave your house and all you wore was yoga pants, because that's kind of what I did. Anyway, there was a close-up on my hair and makeup, and here we are driving up to the theater. We were so excited with the marquee all lit up. There's still a Christmas tree downtown, and it's just so beautiful. Like I said, for those of you who don't know, Will and I met doing theater. I've been involved in theater since I was in like the 4th grade, and I never stopped being involved in theater. I still direct shows as well as I'm in shows, and so I was just so thankful for this experience and to be back in a theater and seeing this gorgeous show. So thank you so much for sticking around. We will see you next time. Bye, or as Parker says, peace.